services and APIs cost are quite high and are often prohibitively difficult to use. So here at DIY4Youth, we offer AI services at a low cost to students, along with training and mentorship to those who want to solve a problem in a community or maybe even change the world a little bit. Your participation brings us ever closer to achieving that goal, and we are so excited to see what you all will achieve. All right. So there's three parts to the services that we offer. The first is our training. So we'll teach you how to do things like prompt engineering, which we'll focus on in this workshop, retrieval augmented generation, and multimedia inputs. And throughout a series of workshops and lectures, just like this one, you'll begin to build the basic skills of AI manipulation, many of which you have already. Okay, the second part is we act as an accelerator. So we'll give you a chance to apply for free access to OpenAI's generative AI APIs. And we'll also act as a business incubator. So we'll be an established platform from which you can launch your tech venture. And finally, we offer you some sort of community and support, because your greatest resources are always going to be the people around you. So we provide a network to connect you to like-minded students. Many of you are in our Discord and WeChat groups already. So yeah, we offer you that kind of network. We also give you a chance to meet with other creators. We'll give you a chance to meet with our keynote speaker later tonight, and creators who are making large impacts around the world. Okay. So you probably know everyone on the screen already, but we have two guests today that I'd like to introduce. Daisy and Evan from Coding is Fun, our sister organization of sorts. Daisy will be teaching you about the design thinking process, and Evan will be teaching you how to build a chatbot and use prompt engineering. All right, I'll hand it over to Daisy to talk about the design thinking process. Daisy, if you're
just wait a while. So Sophie, can you do the pitch for no? So I think Daisy to give me 5 minutes. Okay, sorry.
While we wait for Daisy, in the meantime, most of you have done this, but if you can change your name to reflect your registration name along with your status, that'd be really great. Thank you so much. Hi, Daisy, if you're there, we just got to your design thinking process presentation. So if you want to share your screen, and we'll jump into that.
So while Daisy is preparing, Daisy is the Coding Farm president. She has been teaching Python in the Coding Farm for more than 3 years. And so she will teach the design thinking process and also share her experience when she did the National Big Data Challenge when she was grade 9. And she did a great job on the planning and doing the pitch and doing also the research paper and won the championship in nationwide. So that will be a very good opportunity for us to learn from her. So Daisy, when you are ready, just share your screen and start your presentation. Thank you.
Hello, I apologize for the delay, and now I will be presenting the design thinking process.
So we cannot see your screen. Yeah, okay, we can see now. Thank you.
Okay, so hello everyone, and today I'll be presenting the design thinking process, introducing to you and explaining what it is. So first, I'll introduce the design thinking process and we'll go over each of the stages of the process: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. First, let me introduce the design thinking process. What is the design thinking process? The design thinking process is a process that helps you come up with solutions for problems of any kind. It is widely used in all contexts, but especially for innovations, and it consists of 5 key steps. These steps are empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Now, I will be presenting a video that will hopefully clarify what the design thinking process is and help you.
Let's see what happens. You get one. Oh, look at the water.
Because they've been exposed to design thinking at such an early age, that creativity has just blossomed. They can really think outside the box, and they really feel that there is not a problem out there that they cannot devise a solution for.
Sorry, do you want to drink that? No. See what you can do to redesign it. At Design 39 campus, we want our students to be working on real world work in real world ways. Design thinking is an innovative approach to problem solving, and it's a step-by-step process designing for a specific purpose or person. Because it's World Water Day, today's design challenge is creating a water filtration system using natural resources.
In design thinking, the first thing you have to do is empathize. If you don't do that, you won't be able to make the right thing for the person.
Okay, that's better.
This morning, we watched a few videos to see how other people get water. It was about a girl that had to walk 4 miles to get water and 4 miles to get back. And her back was aching because of that heavy bucket of water on her head. We just have to get a glass of water from the fridge.
After we showed them the video, we just shared some facts with them. Worldwide, here's how many people don't have access to clean water. In the video, what did you notice around her? Some of the natural resources around her.
Plants.
So could she use these items?
Yes.
So for the research part, we needed the kids to experience these natural resources. What happens when you pour water through sand? What happens when you pour water through cloths?
Did it get all of the dirt? Most.
After research, we'll define the problem. A lot of times they need to come up with the definition. What is the problem that we're trying to solve? With this one, we had a problem already defined.
So our problem is people who do not have access to clean water need a way to filter water so they don't get sick from it. What's next?
Brainstorm different ideas.
When students are ideating, we talk about rapid ideating. We don't want them to waste too much time kind of working through one idea or adding a lot of details. It's just, what if I made it this way? What if I changed it that way? Oh, so you're saying to layer some of those materials? Then they go ahead and prototype.
This is not your final building. It's like your model. So when it comes to your real one, you know what you're going to build.
Walking around to the tables, you hear students starting to combine different ideas.
Drawing it first shows how you're gonna build it. Now we will connect the pipe right here. And then it has to turn and go up.
So now they have their paper model, it's labeled, so they can go and get the supplies needed and start building it.
We need a clock.
The prototyping when they're building it can be sometimes the quickest part. They have it all planned out. They know what they're building. After students prototype, they're excited to jump in and see, how did my prototype work?
What number would you say this is for turbidity?
We brought out a turbidity scale, which they would be looking for the clarity of the water, and then a ppm device, which would measure the purity of it.
So even though water might be clear, it still might not be safe to drink.
What do you see, Brandon? What number? 985. If it fails, you have to see the problems and make it again.
The final stage in the design process is we'll have them upload into their digital portfolio. Sometimes it's about publishing results that didn't quite work so that others can learn from it.
Publishing could just be sharing out to an audience. What would they change? What was challenging about the project? How did the group work together?
And you guys took both ideas and made it into one. And how did that make you feel, Emma?
Starting design thinking at a really early age, they'll take more risks. They start learning goal setting, problem solving, perseverance.
First attempts don't always work out. It's okay to fail and try again, because then you actually are learning something like, oh, this doesn't work. Let's try this.
7:35.
I think it's good because it's not just thinking about yourself, but thinking about other people. And I think that's very important.
All right, so that is the video. I hope that helped clear up some of what is the design thinking process. So now I will be continuing to present more in detail about the design thinking process. All right, so let us continue. The first step in the design thinking process is empathize. But first of all, before we go to this step, we must ask, what is empathy? Well, imagine your friend got hurt and now they're crying, and you feel sad too. That is empathy, feeling what other people are feeling. Essentially, it is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Empathy consists of 4 key aspects: seeing their world, understanding their feelings, appreciating them as human beings, and communicating your understanding. What to do in the empathize stage? Well, see the people around you. What is troubling them? What are their problems? Essentially, you want to understand their feelings and find out their problems. You need to find out what people need. Once you know the people's needs, you can move on to the next stage in the design thinking process, which is define. In the define stage, your goal is to define your problem. Here you define who you are solving for and what their needs are. Using the research that you accumulated in the last stage of the design thinking process, you find a problem that you wish to solve. The first key question is who you are solving for. Here you define your target audience. Who are the people that you're trying to help? Examples: youth experiencing homelessness, elderly with Alzheimer's. The second key question is what are their needs? You should use the research from the last stage to do this. Here you define the needs of the people you are solving for. Essentially, focus on a single problem that they are facing. For example, it could be shelter for homeless youth and a caring caretaker for elderly living with Alzheimer's. After you have defined a problem, the next stage is ideate. In ideate, you come up with ideas of a solution to your problem. Here you just want to brainstorm. You can brainstorm for a certain session and come up with many solutions, then pick one. Remember, keep who you are solving for and what their needs are in mind. In the end, you need to come up with a solution to the problem that you defined in the previous stage. Here's some tips and tricks for brainstorming. The first is to have a dedicated brainstorming session. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes. Do not be afraid of outlandish ideas or ideas that seem too out there or implausible. Put any ideas that come to mind down on the paper. Once you have a list of ideas, pick and choose the best 3 to improve and work on. Eventually, you can pick one of the best 3 as your solution. After you have your solution to the problem, the next stage is prototype. In the prototype stage, you develop the solution that you chose in the ideate stage. Your goal is to create a cheap, inexpensive prototype. For physical or technological solution, you can even use paper to model it. For software or online solutions, create a mock-up of your website or app. It doesn't need to have all the functionality. However, it should demonstrate the functionalities of your solution well. One concept that is very important in the prototype stage is the minimum viable product. When making your prototype, focus on making a minimum viable product. Minimum being the most basic, bare bones, and rudimentary version of your final product. You can't make it too complicated or you will waste too much time. Viable, your prototype should have enough functionality for people to test it. And finally, product. The product should be tangible so testers can see it, touch it, and interact with it. Having a minimum viable product is very important when you want to have testers test your product. And now let's move on to the final stage, test. In the testing stage, you test the prototype that you made in the previous stage. Your goal here is to get your prototype out to a few designated testers. Getting feedback from real people using your solution is very important. Once you got a few people to test your prototype, you can improve upon your prototype to arrive at a final product. What's next? Well, you should continue developing your prototype. Based on the feedback of the people using your product, you can eventually develop the final product. At any point, if something doesn't work out, you can always go back to a previous step in the design thinking process. This process isn't strictly linear. Now I will share some of my personal experience in planning a project such as this. So in the past, I have done multiple innovation projects and pitch competitions, such as the aforementioned big data competition. And I find that there's a process that you can go through to help make planning easier and make sure you'll be able to complete everything on time. So my suggestion is to separate the allotted time you have to create the project into chunks. The first 25% of the chunk should be spent on the empathize, define, and ideate stages. You should spend the first 25% of your time researching, planning, and brainstorming a solution. This is because you will need to spend a good amount of time planning and brainstorming, but also leave time for the later stages. So once you have your solution, I suggest that you spend the next 50% of your time on the prototype and test phase. This is important because you need more time to develop a prototype and solution, and the extra time is to ensure that if something doesn't work out, you can always go back to the planning stage and remake a solution. So 50% of the time on the prototype and on the prototype and test phases. Finally, for the last 25% of your time, I believe that you should spend it on making deliverables, which are usually PPTs or videos. You should reserve time for making deliverables, as when you're doing a project, it is very easy to run out of time to make deliverables. And this has happened to me before, where we made a project, but we ran out of time to create all the components for it, which was very unfortunate. So you should reserve some time at the end to make deliverables. And that is a general framework that I suggest you should follow, and this will help you plan out your project and complete everything on time. And now, the second question, how do you pitch? Well, pitching is essentially promoting your project to the judges. You want to convince them that your project is worth looking at and your project is the best out of the others. Well, here's some tips and tricks for pitching. The first tip is that keep your pitch short, concise, and snappy. Don't go too far into the technical details because that easily bores an audience. You want to keep it concise and focus mainly on how your solution will impact others, as the impact is what the judges are looking for. So make it concise, keep it snappy, and focus on the impact. The second is to capture the attention of the audience with a strong lead and a strong conclusion. So for the lead, it is like a hook that helps draw audience's attention in at the very beginning. And this could be a statistic or a thought experiment. This will help keep the audience's attention. And for the conclusion, you want to end off strong, emphasizing what your project does and the impacts it will have on the world to leave a strong impression in the audience's mind. And of course, for presentation, you want to be confident and present confidently. And those are some of the tips and tricks I could give to you about pitching. Now, thank you for listening to my presentation.
Thanks, Stacey. I'll take over from here. For those of you who are asking about pitching, keep in mind that we'll go more in depth into that right now. Okay. So let's talk about how to actually pitch your ideas and how to use that template that we sent out in Discord and WeChat to create a really good presentation. Because what's difficult about a pitch is that you somehow need to condense your 48 hours of really hard work doing the idea generation process that they told you about, or the technical aspects, and condensing that into the precious 5 minutes of time that you have in front of the judges to convince them that your project should win. All right, so how do we make a really good presentation? The first is going to be your introduction, and this should be just 30 seconds to a minute, right? And you want to make sure that your title slide, when you come right out of the bat, is really, really impactful and it's really engaging to the judge. And so we really encourage you to take the pitch template that we've given you and to customize it as much as you want and customize it as much as you need to make it relevant to your product and to make it specific to the solution that you've created. It'll make it so much more interesting to the judges who've likely seen dozens of other presentations to be able to see some variety and to see exactly how your title slide or your formatting relates to your solution and your product. So out of the bat, in your first 30 seconds, you want to make sure you have a really engaging hook. This could be a statistic to draw us in. It could be like just a really clear outline of what you're going to present. We want to make sure that we're interested as soon as you start speaking. Okay, second slide is going to be you introducing your team, and you want to rearrange depending on the size of your team. And you'll notice that a lot of these slides look very similar to the ones that we use here at DIY4Youth. And that's just because this is a formula that works time and time again, and this is a formula that will get you a really good presentation. Okay, so you want to outline not only your members' names, but also the roles that each person is taking on. So maybe one person will take on more technical tasks and act similarly in a way to a CTO. Maybe you want to outline that as their role. Maybe someone is more in charge of the visual aspects of your pitch or more in charge of the marketing and organizational aspects. You want to outline those roles so that we can give you the recognition you deserve. All right. Third slide, and this is important, is the problem statement, because every solution needs a problem. Every product holds no value if it's not solving some existing problem or taking advantage of some existing opportunity. So you need to tell us what you're trying to solve. And notably, you need to find a problem in the community that you actually have the capacity to solve right now as a high school student using your AI generated or AI powered solution. And this is what you'll be doing during your idea generation process. You'll be coming up with a bunch of ideas and picking the best one that you can provide a solution to. Secondly, you need to prove to us that this problem is big enough or your solution is good enough that it can actually bring a meaningful impact to a large amount of people. So who are you helping? We want to know, right? How big of a difference can you make for each of those people, and how certain is your impact? And this is where statistics will really be helpful. If I'm telling you that I want to create an app to get people to go outside more and to be healthier, and that's going to be AI powered, I might be slightly convincing if I tell you that people are currently unhealthy. But if I tell you that 30% of people are suffering from back issues because they're inside too much, and my app can help all of those people get outside more, then that's probably far more convincing to a judge. Okay, so let's say I believe you, you have a problem and it's really important. Now you need to tell me why your solution works, why you actually have a solution, and why that solution is the best or the most efficient or the cheapest way, or just the way that helps the most people. Okay, so 3 things that you have to tell me. The first is why you chose this solution specifically. So what was your decision-making process like? What other solutions did you consider but throw out? Why did you choose this one? Second thing you have to tell me is what did you actually make, right? What is the product that you actually came up with? Is it a chatbot? Is it an app? Is it a website? You can show us your technical prowess here. We want to see it all. Third is how you did it. So this is all going to be an educational opportunity. That's what we're hoping you come out with at the end of the hackathon. So it's really great if you can tell us all of the ways that you applied what you learned. So maybe during your solution, you applied prompt engineering, which you'll be learning about later today. That will be really great for a judge to hear about. Okay. This is also really important, which is, let's say I believe you, you have a problem that's really pressing and you have a solution in mind. Now you need to show me that your solution actually works without errors and that it's as cool as you tell me it is. So this is where you demonstrate how your solution works and you present your prototype. It doesn't have to be amazing or fancy, it has to be functional. So say I'm presenting a chatbot, I might show some user input and some interactions with the bot to prove to the judges that it's really as cool as I tell them it is. Okay. This is the business plan, and this is only for the hacker division who have this additional requirement. We'll be teaching you how to do this later. Novices can simply delete this slide in the template. No need to worry about this at all. All right, finally is your conclusion slide. And it's often said that the first 30 and last 30 seconds of your presentation are the most important because it's when the judges and your audience are going to be paying the most attention, it's when they're most engaged. So you want to take these precious 30 seconds and use them well. You want to summarize your key points, tell me about your problem, your solution, how it works, really quickly again in your last 30 seconds, and you want to end with a really strong closing statement that will leave a judge thinking about you long after you've left the room, just so that once they're, choosing a winner, your name comes to mind and your presentation comes to mind. All right. So now that you know how to create a really good pitch, now we're going to be separating you into your breakout rooms to learn about the more technical aspects. Okay. So I've opened up a breakout room to those who've listed themselves as
All right, so hello everyone. Welcome to Learnathon, and in this hacker room, I'm gonna teach you how to build a chatbot. So let me just share my screen. So my name's Evan Lee. I'm in grade 6, and I'm a coding is fun teacher. And yeah, so prerequisites. So our platform we'll be using, which is our environment, is that we've Python, and we've attended the warm-up workshop. We have a personal computer, and that cell phone and tablet will not work. We've installed Python version 3.7 plus, Radio, and OpenAI. Now let's talk about web application architecture. This part is very important, as this is how every website works. So here's what you see. There's images, there's videos, there's text boxes, and there's links. There's so many things in a website. It's like a movie. There's like a bunch of starring actors, and everyone is just part of it. Well, there's also movie directors, and there's also the props. There's also those people who edit the sound and all the editing stuff. What do they do? Well, let's find out for a website. So here's what really happens. Your computer goes to the browser, which accesses the router. And this browser goes up to your URL and it's like, oh, I want to access this. So he asks your router. The router doesn't know. So the router tries to find the web server, which is on the cloud. Then the web server returns to the router and it gives it back to the browser. And then your browser displays everything. So let me show you a simple chatbot using GPT API and Gradio. So here's the basic chatbot. So I'm gonna run it. So here's our question. So here's a chatbot. I'm gonna ask it a question and it will return with a response. So let's ask it a question. What is OpenAI? And it's gonna respond to something. OpenAI, more like Open Yay. It's a cool clubhouse for robots and humans to hang out and learn from each other. Kind of like a digital summer camp for nerds. Don't ask us to make s'mores. We're not very good at that. So I coded it to be pretty funny in a humorous tone. We can also ask it, tell me a joke. About OpenAI. Why did the OpenAI robot break up with a significant other? Because they can't handle the competition from the other interfaces vying for attention. Okay. All right, so let's just continue. So let's learn how to make this. Well, let's first build a website in Python, because I'm pretty sure you guys haven't built a website in Python yet. Or if you did, good. So for this class, we'll be building a website using the Gradio Python library. What is Gradio? Well, Gradio is a Python library that is specifically made for creating web applications to show the machine learning and AI features. In fact, it was actually made for scientists that were trying to show their machine learning models and were trying to show their scientific data models. And once AI popularized around the world, everyone started using Gradio, and then Gradio decided to add their AI features to it. So now let's talk about why we should use Gradio. Well, there's some simple reasons. It's really easy to use, and you can create chatbot websites with only a few lines of code. So let's build our first Gradio website. Hello world. So I'll demonstrate this. So here is the Hello World app. And it's actually quite simple. There's just a text box and an output box. Here. There's an input and an output box. These two boxes correlate to each other. Let's say I type my name in here and I click the submit button. What happens is the output would say, hello, Evan. Cool. And if I say world, it will say, hello, world. This is our key entry point into learning about Gradio. It uses two key components, an output box and input text boxes. And these two buttons are just defaults. The clear button just clears it, and the flag just flags it so that you can it's in a logs file. But we're not going to be learning about that in today's class. So now let's talk about this. How does this work? Well, let's first see what the chatbot website sees. You see the name text box, you see the output text box, and there's a submit button, and there's other stuff. Well, what happens behind the scenes? We added a new Gradio component. So let's talk about it. So your computer, let's say you got the website, and now you have your Gradio UI. The UI is the user interface, basically what you see on the screen. Let's say you press the submit button with your name on it. That it sends a name through the router. The router's if you wanna look for it, go to this IP address, this web server. So it sends it there, and there's a Gradio function. Great. Then we send the name back. Then we send the name back with the hello. And now the Gradio UI has updated the output box with hello name. So yeah. So now let's build our first Gradio website. Let's actually learn how to do it. Here's our Hello World application. So let me just make it bigger so you guys can see. So we want to look at our interface. we start at the step 1, our UI. We have our greet function, input and output box. These are the input and output boxes, and they're in text format. So that means when you add it, there's an input to fill the greet function in string format text. Then we have our output as text, which means that the return, and when you put it into the website, the output will be in text format, not in Python format or number format, let's say. So now, let's talk about the greet function. This greet function is the grading function. There's an input and there's an output. And this is pretty simple. We have an input here, and then we're gonna output hello plus input plus exclamation mark. And there you go. That's pretty much it. Well, now let's run the website with demo.launch. Well, now take a look at this website. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 lines of code. That's pretty cool, isn't it? We can make it a simple website with only 8 lines of code in Python. So yeah. Now I'll give you guys 5 minutes to try doing these exercises. All right, so time's up. So I hope everyone's created their hello world.py. So does anyone want to present their project? Does anyone want to present?
Every time I try to print mine, it says there's like an error.
Can you share your screen? It might help you. Can help you.
Okay, sure. Wait 1 second. Sorry. Can you see my screen?
Okay, so yeah, I'm hoping that you know how to use Python. That instance demo is a comment, not actually. No, you can remove it. Oh, don't create a new file. Can you remove all of, can you copy all of this?
Yeah. Cause I thought like it was a real one because there wasn't like the hashtag.
Anyway, so can you go to a test? I mean go to DIY hackathon? No. DIY create a new file in your main project.
Oh.
Do you know how to create a file?
Wait, I haven't done this before. First time using it.
Here.
Okay.
So you go here, you right click on DIY. Oh, you're using a Mac. Oh, I can't really help you. How can you right click here? Yeah. Click on a new Python file. And then type hello. No. No, type hello. What can you type underscore?
Yeah.
Oh, can you type world? And then can you check .py? .py. All right, and then there we go. Yep. Enter. All right, and then paste your code here. Paste. And then don't forget to.
Wait. Yep, like right here, right? Oh, stop.
No. Can you remove the breakpoint?
What? Wait, what? Can you say it again?
Remove the breakpoint. The red dot. Can
I
you
got it.
and then import Gradio as gr. All right, so you see here, no, don't do that. The instance demo, just put it in a comment. There, for my code, I did put it as a comment, so comment it.
And now can I run it?
Yeah. Your formatting is a bit weird, but okay. Now just click run. You should probably share your entire screen.
Oh, let me see it. Oh, oops. Can you see it now?
Oh yeah, you can just type hello and just. You forgot to write a space after hello. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Does anyone else wanna actually, you know what? Let's just continue with the class. We don't want to use that much time. Please. Good job, Jasper, Bill, and Austin. Now, let's learn how to interact with ChatGPT. Well, what even is GPT, you may ask? You know the chat part, but what is GPT? Well, GPT is a pre-trained model that could generate content like text, images, or even voice. And it's based on the machine learning model called transformers. What is a GPT API? Well, it's just an interface to call GPT features in your own application using code. Basically, your application asks GPT and gets answers, like you calling your friend for answers. Why should we use GPT API? Well, it's the most powerful API for generative AI technology, and it's more flexible, as you can customize how you use it and how to see how it looks and feel. So basically, it's one of the most flexible and powerful APIs for generative AI technology. So now let's actually connect with GPT for the first time, and now we're going to be creating our first GPT program. So let me show you what it's going to look like. So here's the script. The question is here. And does anyone want to ask GPT a question? You can ask any question that you want. You can type in when is the next goal? I don't know if it knows my date or not. I'm not sure if GPT is up to date, but I'm pretty sure it was made in 2022. So the last. Oh no, wrong program. Here. The next moon is on December 18, 2021. As you can see, it's a bit outdated. That's the next moon. My date is May 18th, 2024. It's gonna be like, oh, we're trying travel. Let's see. Next full moon on May 18th, 2024 will be on June 16th, 2024. Not sure if that's correct, but okay. I'll take it. Now let's see how the code works. It's quite simple. You gotta first open AI from the package. Then you wanna this is kind of like creating your phone and dialing OpenAI's number. So the client is basically you, and then you want to create a function. So then we set the OpenAI key. This is the API key just to be able to use it. This is kind of like dialing the number on a cell phone. Then we prepare our question because you want to be able to make sure that we're asking it right or else not. And then over here we just tell GPT the question. So when's the next full moon and blah blah. So yeah. Then over here we print our message content, which is basically the answer from GPT. And then we print our response usage. So our usage from because these are tokens. OpenAI charges money based on tokens. And 1,000 tokens are approximately 750 words. Each token is 3/10 of a cent. But once you're using big stock application, it's going to be quite expensive. So you better finish your work in class because the API key will expire, and you have 5 minutes to work on this exercise. Oops. Here. All right, I'll give you guys 5 minutes to work on this exercise. I know if you can't copy it, you can type it out. That way you can learn better by actually learning how to do it. Typing. For this, we're gonna create a new file for our AI application. Just call it my first AI app.py. Every time we move on to a new exercise, always create it in a new file. Yeah, sorry about the API key. It's a bit long. Yeah. All right, so time is up, and yeah, Jasper, if you can you share your screen? We can probably help you, and you can maybe demonstrate it. Can you show me the error a bit more? Let's go all the way down. Oh, you didn't put the API key right. Can you go all the way up in code? Yeah, your API key is supposed to be the API key. Actually, do you guys all have Discord?
Yeah.
I can type. I'll just type the API key in, so you guys can probably copy it. Because I'm pretty sure you guys can copy in Discord, right? Alright, I sent it in the. Alright, so I sent the API key in the chat. Does anyone? Okay. Let's just move on to this exercise because we're running a bit of out of bit of time. So let's just can actually, yeah. So it's if it still doesn't work, then yeah. Oh yeah, capital I and L. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But do you guys? It's okay. We can just go continue with our class session, the thing in the Discord. So yeah. So now let's create the website for our GPT API. Why not this? Well, it looks kind of ugly. Don't you agree? It's just some text and it doesn't even fit on the screen. And it has like this. So let's make a website using Gradio. And here's the design. We have a question text box. We have an output text box. We can enter our question here. The submit button, you can clear it to clear the question, and we can. That's pretty much it. And let me just show you how it's gonna work. So now let me show you how what really happens. We added an OpenAI server here. So let's say you ask a question. The question goes to the router, it goes to this web server. Then we ask like, oh, okay, so this is the gradient function. This gradient function is telling me we gotta go to GPT API. So let's create a calling app. So let's call it the GPT API. We ask our prompt as long as our API key is like, oh, no, I found your API key. You can use it. So then it responds with you, and then your answer comes all the way back to your browser, which displays the Gradio UI. So that's pretty much how it works. Let's build this simple GPT API website. And here we go. Now we have here. Now we have our basic chatbot. So here we added our chat functionality. We just created our chat function. And here's the Gradio interface. We have our inputs and we have our output. Here the input, we have a component.text box with our label and placeholder. That's how we're going to create a text box. Then we also have our output as gradio.components.markdown. And what this does is that it can use in markdown format. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry. It just means that you can make text look prettier if you tell the AI to use markdown format. You can have headings and stuff, like your text and bolded text and that kind of thing. So yeah, let's see what the chat does. So here everything's the same except we have a prompt parameter, which this question text box will fill in. Then we have our messages, our response, and then we just return our output. So pretty much the same. But then here's what we did. We added a new line. We added a system information. So we added an information so that we can tell the robot what it's supposed to be. They should be a funny robot that humorously answers a question. So that's why my prompt was so humorous, I say. And then you would launch your website. So that's pretty much it. I'll give you guys I'll split this into two. I'll give you guys three I'll give you guys 10 minutes to do this. And yeah. Not sure if you guys can see this, but it's just yeah, this is the biggest I can do. So yeah, I'll give you guys 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So time is up, and does anyone want to present? Jasper, can you present? Can you share your entire screen? Can you share your entire screen? Jasper, can you share your entire screen? I can't see. Yeah. Can you share your entire screen because I can't see your website? Can you share Chrome too? Your entire screen. You can share and then share desktop, screen. Screen, you can share like share screen, not like share an application. Okay, then can you go back to share your pie chart? Can you go to your oh there you go, yeah. Can you go to your pie chart? Can you explain what each line of code does? Can you turn on your mic?
Okay. This imports the Gradio, right?
Yeah.
And this is like, it connects to your API key. And this is like, telling how the robot should respond.
Mm-hmm.
And this is to like, this, what should. This is like the model. So it's 3.5.
Can you tell me what line 8 does?
8. Oh, this?
Yeah.
Basically it tells the robot like how to respond to the input.
Okay, can you tell me what a line 19 does?
Wait, here?
Yeah. On your row. Okay. Can you tell me what it does?
I think it returned like the messages.
Oh. Okay. What does line 24 do?
Where?
Line 24.
Wait, this one?
24.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That line is for describing the output should be in markdown form. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Can you open your microphone, please? Your microphone can't just suddenly turn off. I can't hear you. Can you tell me in the chat what line 24 does? What do you mean by the markdown? No. No. Anyway, so what happens is it just says the output format should be in markdown format to make text look prettier.
I think I need a bit of help.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Sure. Okay. So it says there's an error here.
Oh, okay. So can you yeah. Oh boy. You didn't indent this. That's it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Try running it. So now it should work. You just forgot to indent it. Look, it works now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Also in the previous one for the OpenAI, there's also oh wait, sorry, no. For the Hello World, oh wait, actually no, everything's resolved now. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so so we finished. So let's recap what we did in today's Learnathon workshop. We learned how web architecture and how it works. We learned what you see and what really happens, like the back end stuff. We learned how Gradio works and what it is. It's a Python library that's useful for making web applications and a few lines of code. We learned about GPT API and how the web architecture can connect to the GPT API. And we built a basic chatbot website application using GPT and Gradio. So far, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
Will we be able to use these codes for like the hackathon?
I mean, these codes wouldn't like if you're trying to like recreate ChatGPT or something, sure, but you'll have to pay. I think you probably might need to pay for your own API key or something.
Okay. So when it comes to the hackathon, you're honestly just using ChatGPT. Hello?
So you're supposed to create an application using AI, I'm pretty sure. And you're this is just a learnathon to get you ready. Just like try to like create some examples, like just to like practice your coding skills and get you prepared for a hackathon.
Right.
Yeah, and for the hackathon, Sophie said that she'll provide the keys for you. They'll provide the keys for you.
Got it.
Oh, by the way, these keys that you're using in class, always they will disappear once and they'll expire once we finish this class. So yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? If not, then let's continue. Let's talk. Oh, I didn't share my screen. Let's talk about advanced prompt engineering. And what is advanced prompt engineering? Well, advanced prompt engineering is like if you have a smart robot friend, I can ask her to tasks or answer questions like ChatGPT. But sometimes the best answer is to just ask your question in a special way. And this is what we call advanced prompt engineering. It's like knowing the best way to ask something so that your robot friend understands exactly what you mean and gives you the perfect answer. Here are some examples. You want to ask clearly. Make sure your question is clear and easy to understand. It's like when you ask your friend to pass the red pencil, not just any pencil. You want to give details. Sometimes all you need to do is give a little story or more information so that your robot understands better. It's like explaining why you need the red pencil. Then you want to ask step by step. If something is hard to understand, break it down into smaller questions, like steps in a recipe. Be specific. You want your answer to be in a certain way, like a list or a story? Tell your robot to do exactly that. And most importantly, you want to be fair and you're not making your robot think in a way that's illegal, not nice, or isn't fair to anyone. Then we always want to try again. If the first or second and third answer isn't good, try asking in a different way or add more information to help it become more precise. So let me demonstrate the advanced prompt engineering scripts. Here. Now this part is the advanced prompt engineering is exclusive to hackers. So yeah. All right, so here's your question, and here we have now a new thing called system message and prompt template. Remember our system information part? Well, here it is. We can tell it to do stuff. Yeah. So let me just so let's say our robot will be a speech expert, and its role is to teach students how to make impromptu speeches. The students will give you a topic and you'll demonstrate how to deliver a passionate 1-minute impromptu speech. You will provide the speech text, ensuring that the speech does not exceed 1 minute based on a normal human speaking speed. So basically, we can ask it some questions. Like for example, what is OpenAI? But instead of responding in a normal way, it would respond in like an impromptu speech kind of style. OpenAI is a cutting-edge artificial intelligence research laboratory that aims to ensure artificial intelligence benefits all of humanity, founded with belief that AI should be aligned with human values and ethically deployed. OpenAI conducts research across a wide range of AI topics, from reinforcing learning to natural language processing. By fostering collaboration with researchers and developing open source tools, OpenAI seeks to democratize AI and accelerate towards safe and beneficial artificial general intelligence. Through its commitment to transparency and responsible AI development, OpenAI is shaping the future for artificial intelligence and for the betterment of society. Then that's basically what it does. Well, what is this prompt template for then, you may ask? Well, here is so let's give an example of the education expert. So it's an education expert for K-12 students. Its task is to teach students and answer their questions step by step with practical examples and exercises. And its answer should be no more than 150 words. And let's give it an example. Here is the prompt template. This thing is supposed to be giving them a template, an example, or instruction on how to do it. So here, we split it into two things. Instruction and output example. The instruction is to analyze students' question and provide practical learning instruction with practical examples based on the student's request step by step. And we have steps to do it, and ensure the output is in markdown format and adhere to the output examples. And its tone should be encouraging and humorous. And the output example is basically an example of it. So you see there's instructions, there's examples, and there's questions. So let's ask for the question. Let's say, teach me geometry how to find the area of 3D shapes. Something like that. All right, to find the area of a 2D shape, you need to use the appropriate formula for that specific shape. Here are some formulas for the common 2D shapes. Square, so the area is side length times side length, and other stuff. For example, if you have a rectangle of length of 5 units and 3 units, you can find the area by multiplying the length and width. The area is 5 times 3 equals 15 square units. To practice, try finding the area of different shapes using these formulas. So we will learn how to make this. And this is quite cool. So let me show you how to build the system info text box. This is one of the most easiest steps, actually. You only need to edit like 2 lines of code. So here, let me just hide this real quick. So here we have our API key. Here we have a system message. So here are the 2 lines we need to change. First, we need to create a new text box called system message and the placeholder. This will input to the system message parameter, which will add to our message line. And that's basically it. So it's quite simple. It's a really simple really simple thing to do. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to do this. So it's only 2 lines to change. So the system message and the text box. So yeah, I'll give you guys 5 minutes to do this. All right, so tying this up, and does anyone want to present? If no one wants to present, then I will oh, okay. Jasper, for your response thing, you're supposed when you define the response variable, you spelt it wrong. We need to find it. Anyways, that's what I meant by definition, not the spelling, like something like that. Okay, let's customize the chatbot even more. Remember that template we have? Well, it's good because then it can follow your format. Here's where the prompt manipulation comes in. We can add a template to the message, as an example, and add the user square in the bottom. So let's code this. This is actually really simple, but just slightly more complex. So the only things we're going to change is we're going to add a new prompt template text box with lines equals 10, just means the default amount of lines, because it's a pretty big template kind of thing. So you might need like 10 lines just to show that this thing is has a bit more text to it. Now we have a new variable. It's called prompt template. Let's get from this input. Then we reset this question to query, and now let's add prompt. So create a variable called prompt, add prompt template, and just add user's query to it. Then we add the prompt message. So we add it there, and then we just get the answer. So it's actually pretty simple. I'll give you guys about 5 minutes to this. So we're just changing this line. Also don't forget about the query. So I will actually make it small. Here. So we're only changing this. We're going to add the prompt variable, and then we're adding the new prompt text box. So I'll give you guys about 5 minutes to do this.
Evan, we can't see your pie chart.
Okay, so we're running out of time, but I think everyone should be done by now. So does anyone want to present their prompt template? Oh, you're not done yet? I'll give you I'll share this again.
Thank you.
I'll give you another like 2 minutes maybe.
Can you go on PyCharm? Can you go on PyCharm?
You see it now?
No, I still see the screen.
Oh, you see it now?
Yep, yep.
All right, so Austin, are you still working on it? Or
Can I
are you
just
done?
like correct it after class? Can I just correct after class?
Huh? What did you say?
Can I just like correct it after class?
Sure. There's also a Q&A too, so if you need help, then yeah. All right. Let's actually take a look at test our AI application. If I run this code right now, you're actually gonna notice that something is pretty off. Here, let's use the math teacher example. Let's just ask teach me grade 1 math. There you go. And then it's gonna respond with some answer, but you may notice if I also let's play. Let's try copying your friend using more 7. Answer the question, right? It's a great effort. It seems like you might have entered a random number instead of a math-related question. Let's focus on our math concept to explore further. So it doesn't really understand what I mean. So yeah, let's fix that. So the problem here is that our AI is like short-term memory. It doesn't know anything. It only responds to the question that you give it to. It's like you calling them and then they suddenly delete their memory for no reason. And then yeah. To solve this, we can create a chat history variable full of the messages, and then we can manipulate the prompt by adding it to our message. So it's actually a bit more complex than the others, but once you get it, it's actually not that hard. So over here, everything's the same except for the chat part. We're gonna create a chat history variable outside so that it saves every time we use it. Then we're gonna be able to access it because in functions the memory doesn't save. Then we add prompt, so everything is the same here. But then we add chat history dot append, so it's a list, and we append all of this. So we add the user's message to chat history. We just add all of our user content with their prompt. Then we create the messages and send to the API. We add it to our messages, and then once we get the response, we're going to add that to our chat history, and then we're going to return it. So I'll give you guys about 10 minutes to do this because it is quite a bit of a complex topic. So yeah. All right, so time is up. Does anyone want to present their resulting chatbot? If not, then let's recap what we did in this video. So in this learnathon workshop, for the second part, we learned how to customize a chatbot to add system information, prompt template, and chat history. And the system information just meant what the robot's supposed to be doing. The prompt template just means that like what the prompt should look like. I mean the output should look like, and we added chat history to it so that I can actually answer questions. So does anyone have any questions? If not, then I will hand it over to Sophie to talk about business plan.
All right, hi guys. I'm gonna make this quick so that we can all get to done as soon as possible. Okay. Give me 1 sec to share my screen. Okay, so one thing that you guys will have to do beyond what everyone else has to do is going to be your business plan. So there's going to be a few things that you have to include, and we'll provide this document template on Discord. Sorry, let me reshare my screen. Okay, it should work now. Great. So the first thing that you have to put in there is an executive summary, and this is going to be a high-level summary of what your business looks like. So you want to include your business name, your concept, some goals and objectives, along with your mission statement. So if I'm creating the simplest form of a business, maybe a lemonade stand in my neighborhood, and I might name it the Sunny Day Lemonade Stand. And my concept could be that I'm a neighborhood lemonade stand offering fresh lemonade using organic ingredients only. And so my mission statement, along with what makes me unique, is that I'm promoting healthy living along with selling this delicious beverage, right? So you want to outline here what makes you special, what makes you worth, my time and my attention, perhaps as a judge. Second thing you want to do is go more in depth into your company description. So you want to tell me the industry that your business is in. All of you are going to be working, with AI or with some sort of app or with some sort of website. So it's all going to be in that general field. But in the case of my lemonade stand, I'll be working in like the food and beverage industry, right? In terms of the products and services you're offering, this is where you want to describe to me the prototype that you've created or the potential solution that you plan to create. In my case, I'm very simply just offering lemonade, maybe with a variety of flavors, including like classic strawberry, mint flavors, etc., right? Okay. Third thing is market analysis, and this is all going to be quite broad. We don't expect you to go very deep within a span of like 48 hours. You want to identify who your target market is because every business needs to have someone who is actually willing to buy your stuff. So your target market is who your customers are. In my case, it might be families or children or joggers or visitors to my park or my neighborhood. And you want to identify their needs. What problems do they have in which you can swoop in, take advantage of that opportunity? In my case, there might be a need for healthy and refreshing drink options, especially during the summer when the weather is hot. You also want to identify some potential market trends where you can take advantage and make the maximum amount of money or help the maximum amount of people. And finally, you want to do a competitive analysis. Again, this is going to be quite broad. So you want to identify something that will make you stand out amongst all of your other competitors. The best way to do this is just identify some sort of niche that you can do better than any other business, even if you don't necessarily know who they are. Okay. Fourth thing, marketing and sales strategy. How will you attract and retain your customers? This could be through social media, this could be through advertising, word of mouth. In the case of my lemonade stand, I might have people in my neighborhood telling each other about how great my lemonade is, and that's how I'm going to attract customers. And your sales strategy is how you're going to like make money off of it, right? Like how are you going to get people to buy it? How are you going to sell it to them? This could be through like online. In my case, I'm selling it directly through my in-store lemonade stand. Okay. Fifth thing is going to be your operational plan. And this is essentially the day-to-day functions of your business. So you want to tell me about how your product or service is going to be produced, how it's going to function on a day-to-day basis. So in the case of my lemonade, I might set up my stand in the morning, prepare and serve it throughout the day, and clean up and store my equipment after closing. You also want to tell me about your management team, and this is going to be similar to what you did during the pitch. So we want to know who the key people are who are involved in running your business and what their roles are so that we can give you the recognition. So outline this within your plan, identify everyone's roles. Okay, final thing, and probably the most important, or one of the most important, is a financial plan, because the goal of any business at the end of the day is to make a little bit of money. You can help people along the way, but you're probably trying to turn a profit. So you want to list your startup costs. So all of the money that you have to spend in starting your business. For you, this might be the cost of your tokens. Maybe for every single use, it's going to cost you like 2 cents. For me, I might have to pay for my lemonade stand materials, my lemons, my marketing materials. This might come out to, let's say, $300. You also want to tell me about how you plan to make money in the future. So maybe you're charging $2 per use or a monthly subscription. I might be charging $2 per cup of lemonade, and I expect to sell 50 cups a day, so that comes out to a daily revenue of $100. And finally, you want to provide some really simple financial projections. So say for my lemonade stand, I expect to function for a month, very short-term stuff. And if I'm working for 30 days, I can make around $3,000 in that month. If I subtract my expenses of say $500, I'll end up making a monthly profit of $2,500. You'll be able to do this in a very broad, general way. It doesn't have to be too specific for the short term. And the important thing for all of this is just that, like, obviously you're not going to develop a fully fledged business within a span of 24 hours, but if you can provide a really clear idea to the judges of how you're going to develop this in the future and how your business is going to grow, that's going to help you get ahead in the competition, and it's going to help you a lot with your planning. Okay, so let's close out, give you some next steps, and then we'll let you go if you don't have any more questions. You should have received your teams already on either Discord or WeChat. So make sure you've started to connect with your team, find your teammates, start to get to know them. If you want to get ahead of the game, you can start assigning team roles, and you should be designating a team leader or a home base of sorts who will be responsible for your organization and communication. You can also start some of your brainstorming for your ideas. And finally, this is really important, is that you should attend the hackathon opening ceremony tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is really important because all of our judging, scheduling, and submission guidelines will be shared here. So please make sure to be there if you want to participate. If you don't have any questions, you're free to go. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for your patience.
Next
Yeah,
step.
sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
just finish the business plan in the other room.
Okay.
I'll share my screen. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for sticking with us throughout. So just some next steps. The first thing you'll want to do is you should check on Discord or WeChat for the teams that we've sent out, and you want to start to meet with them and get to know your team members. If you want to get ahead, you can start assigning team roles, and you should be designating a team leader or home base of sorts who will be responsible for organization and communication with us. You can also start your brainstorm if you want, and what's really important and mandatory for you to do if you want to attend at all is for you to go to our hackathon opening ceremony and on May 18th, so tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is so important because all of our judging, scheduling, and submission guidelines will all be shared there. So please make sure you're there if you want to participate. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and we can help you out. But otherwise, you're free to go. Thank you so much for being here.